stage our moderator, Mickey Boardman of
Yay! Thank you. Oh my God, how sickening is this crowd? It's so gigantic. I just have to say congratulations to RuPaul, Randy, and Fenton, who I remember when they started, RuPaul was on the cover of Paper in 1993 before many of you were even born. To have rich white people not able to get in, standing outside, is, I think, exactly where America should be going. So, hallelujah. So, as I said, Drag Race superstar, who also performed as part of DWV. This Boy is a Bottom. Who loved This Boy is a Bottom? As soon as you leave, go on YouTube, watch it 100 times, and download it wherever you can to get her paid for something, please. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Detox Icon. And, makeup and fragrance mogul who told his 4th grade teacher that her lipstick shade made her look sick, Mr. Edward Bess. Yay! Meanwhile, a Brooklyn-born fashion legend, QVC queen, Unzipped star, Project Runway all-star judge, and my fellow Libra, we're gonna see if you all can handle 2 Libras on one panel, Isaac Mizrahi.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, in our effort to continue breaking gay stereotypes, our next panelist is a former altar boy and figure skater.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. So much research.
Ladies and gentlemen, Milk.
Yay! Look.
Meh.
And our next panelist, talk about a fashion/drag panel expert. We have makeup artist, model, drag goddess, singer, and rubber doll, Miss Fame.
Yay!
Hi, how are you doing tonight? Gorgeous.
And our final panelist is also perfect for this, as she is the spiritual daughter of Miss Naomi Campbell and Mr. Biggie Smalls, Naomi Smalls.
What's on the menu, motherfuckers? How are you guys?
All right, so we're just going to start off by the first question, which is open to all of you, is what designers or fashion icons have influenced you and your style? Would you like to start, Detox?
Sure. Mugler.
Yeah, there you go. Mugler, let me just blow smoke up this motherfucker's ass really quick. I apologize for my very foul mouth as well. But I have been such a huge admirer and fan of Isaac Mizrahi's since I was a child.
Wow, really?
And I remember watching his documentary when I was a kid and being so blown away, and it was such a life-changing moment for me. So to be on this panel with him is it's just insane. So
Well, I've been a big fan of yours since menopause.
But yeah, so Isaac, Terry McGlair, and you guys, I guess.
Love that.
Edward.
Me, I wear a lot of Versace. I like Rick Owens when I go high street, but I'm not mad at Forever 21. Yeah, Rick Owens hits a spot, and Hedy Slimane. I like High Street, but I'm not mad at, a bargain find either. So, Versace for life.
Isaac, I know your mother was a large
Yeah, I
influence
was
on
going to say, you
fashion
probably
wise.
won't know who I'm talking about. If I say,
I don't care.
If I
School
say
the children.
Norman
School.
Norell, I was a big fan of Norman Norell.
Of course.
Right, like a sort of early minimalist.
Google it, kids. Take
Google
notes.
it.
Take
Norman
notes, children,
Norell,
because
darling.
this is like...
He dressed fabulous people like Marilyn Monroe once or twice, right?
Never heard of her. What season was she
Marilyn
on?
Monroe. And of course, like the actual Saint Laurent. I like the actual Yves Saint Laurent himself. Yeah. And by the way, can we have a moment of silence for Pierre Berger, who's gone?
Yes.
He left the world yesterday.
Yes,
Who was
Google that
Yves Saint
also.
Laurent's lover in the 1960s and business partner and left the earth yesterday. Okay, sorry, I liked Yves Saint Laurent.
No, this is a safe place where you can share any opinions. Okay, Milk.
I mean, Marc Jacobs, definitely. Yes.
Let's hear it for Mark, who
Yes.
also is
I
a
mean,
drag.
who
He,
is-
drag. He should be on the next season
I
of
know.
Drag Race.
I know. He is such a beautiful person. I read an interview about him once, and the reason I love him is because he really just makes the whole woman complete. He did this whole collection where every single girl wore gloves, but he gave each and every girl like this beautiful manicure underneath, because he's creating the fantasy of this girl like going out for the night, and maybe she's going to a party where she has to take off her gloves, and then it's this beautiful manicure. And I just love it. That's so stupid and amazing. Like, you're wearing gloves. Why do you have a manicure? Right? Like, no manicure. Come on, bitch.
The kids today are just lazy.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Millennials.
Something was under that glove that she just took off.
Flowers. No. And then I also love Tom Brown. Yeah, okay. No? Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
hallelujah.
Tom Brown deals a lot with like size and proportion, and me being a 6'3" like monster, I love playing with size and proportion even more. And so yeah, those two. What about you? Speaking of Marc Jacobs and him being on Drag Race.
Excuse me, altar boy hijacking my.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought we were just.
We're very freeform. This is like a
Okay.
conversation, except I'm the only one allowed to talk. No, Miss Fame, tell us exactly what you want.
Hi, I'm really excited to be here. That's more important than anything. No, it's really the women of fashion that wore the fashion that gave me the most inspiration. The women of cinema, black and white film, and looking at like Kristen McMenemy from the '90s runway. That she was
Here.
Oh. If you don't know her, now you know. Dirty Couture. She's not your, standard model, but she had something special. And I like looking at those faces and studying their mannerisms, their motion. And those were the women that actually studied glamour, that knew the position, that knew how to carry the line of the dress. And you could wear any designer if you know how to wear the garment. So those are the people I look to for my
Do you know that? I don't know if you've
inspiration.
heard this story, if it's true, if it's apocryphal. Google that word to make sure I'm using it correctly. But supposedly Kristen McMenemy, I think, was at Versace or something, and at the casting, and was not cast for the couture show. They said they didn't think she was couture, so she supposedly left the room, took off all her clothes except her bra and panties, and marched back in high heels, bra and panties, and said, "Am I couture now?" And she got cast, of course.
That's how I got on this panel.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really the women of fashion. That's how it's always been for me. I mean, but I study the faces as well. And then it always leads back to that, being able to wear archive or going back into the history. I think that's more important than anything now, is that we look back to our roots so we can always be relevant for the present moment.
Okay, Naomi, how about you?
I'm kind of like Fame, where like my appreciation for fashion stems from like the women who wear it. And like I grew up loving like 90s supermodels, and not to blow even more smoke up Isaac's ass, but I remember watching the Unzipped film when I was a kid, and just like the scene with Naomi Campbell with the belly button ring, like that is like one of the most amazing scenes. And like I'm obsessed with Naomi Campbell. Let's just say that she's my favorite fashion icon. And
I recently emailed Naomi about something. I was looking for an old dress, and I thought perhaps I knew she had it, and I thought she kept it. No, of course she doesn't. She burns things if in case. And no. And I emailed her and I said, "Is this?" Because I didn't know if I got the right email address. I wrote, "Dear, is it you?" And she wrote back, "This is Naomi." Right? and I wrote back, "So do you have the dress?" Not a word. Okay, but I do have that email that came back. This is Naomi. And if you could bronze or frame an email.
I was going to say, frame that right up.
Yeah, exactly. This is Naomi, right?
I love that. I love the 90s girls, like hangers, party girls going from cab to cab, party to party. Those are like my fashion icons.
Now, any of you feel free to answer. What are you able to express through your fashion that you feel you can't express in any other way?
I don't know if I even need a microphone. I think I'm loud enough, but I will do that. Hi. I feel like fashion evokes everything for me, but it's like I'm such a weirdo as a man and as a drag queen that I like to just be crazy. I like to look like a mess. I like to be a statement. Like when I walk into a room, you have to look at me because I'm a character. And I think that's what fashion to me has always been, just to be like a cartoon character.
Milk, what about you? Because you have a unique, as do all these queens, a very unique look that isn't,
What?
And I'm surprised.
Isn't
since you
everyone
wore
in
your
wire
casual
masks
day
here?
look today for the panel, I thought you would make a effort.
Just going out to buy apples. So for me, drag is about the complete transformation. I think I'm pretty when I'm Dan. Hi, my name's Dan, everybody. And so I'm pretty boring dresser as a guy, and so I love drag. That's what drew me about drag, was the ability to transform one's face and just wear this interesting and exotic clothing. And I love that Detox really just goes ham. No matter what, she is in her her neons, and it's so amazing. I wish I could do that, but I feel most comfortable in khakis. It's so lame, but then I can dress like this, and then it's just whoa.
Isaac, have you seen throughout the history, since you're our panel historian, despite your youthful age and whatnot, have you seen elements of drag throughout fashion history?
Sure.
Thank you. Next question.
The
Would
most
you care to give us some
informative
examples?
panel.
What I like so much about drag and its influence on fashion, it's kind of like fashion exaggerates and then drag kind of exaggerates. Everybody's exaggerating and then it looks good, and so, But what I think is most important to point out is what it feels like, That's part of what the lesson about looking in the mirror, right? You look in the mirror and it's part of feeling. And so you look better in it, even if you don't look good in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you feel amazing in a big sort of neon wig, even if you look like right? I couldn't, darling. That bonds us forever. I thought I would take the first step. I thought I would take the first step.
It's a love
My first
fest here at
bonding
RuPaul.
experience, I was doing that the
Bondage?
library is open sort of thing. Right? I'm just saying. Okay, go on.
But, now I want to talk about makeup for y'all. Or also, we could start with you, Detox. How do you choose? Does the look come first and then you choose the makeup, or does the makeup not change depending on the look, or how does that all work?
Detox, go.
Bring it to me. No.
Well,
Well, honestly, I used to have so much more fun doing makeup when I was younger, but when I was less busy, because it was it became the look. It was the moment, planning everything. Now I'm so busy, and the last thing I want, I cry when I get into drag, because I'm exhausted, and it's become work. And whenever you guys go to work, you don't want to go to work, but then I get into it, and I love it. Last night I had this party at the Standard, and I was not feeling well at all. I was this is the last thing I want to do. I started getting ready. I started putting my makeup on. Nothing was going right. But the minute I stepped back and looked at it, I was like, oh, bitch. Like you said earlier, if you feel good about what you're doing and what you're wearing, I did not feel good at all. But as soon as I stepped back and looked at myself, I said, I feel good now, bitch.
You looked stunning.
Edward and Isaac, what can fashion people learn from drag?
I think a lot. I mean, if you look at who's having success in fashion right now, I think it's those right now who are paying homage to drag. I mean, Belmont and the Kardashians have their own thing going, gorgeous girls. But I mean, the derriere is back in fashion, perhaps as an homage to what queens have been doing all along. I think the big butt is back in style because of drag influencing fashion. Isaac, what do you think?
Well, I agree.
Phew.
Just kidding.
Period.
No, but I hate to be the sort of voice of caution or something. But here's what I've got to say, which is that drag leads the way a lot of the time, And so, I urge people to think about the next kind of cultural beat that's about to happen, Because if we're all in tight dresses and giant hair and loads of makeup, it's time to think about what comes, because it's over before you know it. I bore really, really, really easily. And I'm sorry, that's what I have to say. You've got to think of the next
I think
moment.
that's very wise, Isaac.
Start thinking about flip-flops and visors again, okay? Or something. And maybe it's not a tight dress with big wig. And seriously, right? The minute you accept your lace front, you're dead, okay? Sorry, there you go.
I'm nothing without mine.
I love
I'm
it.
nothing without my lady friend.
I didn't mean that as I mean that like seriously. We've got to think about
Yeah,
the next
I
moment.
think you're right.
Okay, sorry.
Drag is over.
It's all good. Now,
Bye.
Why your
Moving on.
ponytails are in, guys? Why your
drag is over. Be sure to
ponytails-
sign up for next year for DragCon.
Are we going?
No.
Now, Naomi, what is it? What does a look have to be high fashion? Whether it's day, night, anything. What is it? Is there one ingredient or several that make something high fashion?
Not even to like take over your mediating skills, but the topics where it's like walk. It's just all about confidence for me. And maybe not like a studded bra and a corset and an ugly pair of panties is high fashion, but the way that you like wear it is all about how you carry it. And I mean, not to like blow smoke up my own ass, but I feel like I can wear a bra and panty and
Please
look high
demonstrate
fashion.
that as well.
Oh God. She could wear a hot diaper.
this
and make it
couture?
fashion.
But it's like all about the way you walk. Like if you walk like, and you're like not confident, but like if you walk out the house and you're actually like, this is the shit, I own this outfit, then if it's high fashion to you, then it's high fashion to you.
Were you
Maybe
born-
not to us.
Bitch.
Now,
Put that on a
girl,
t-shirt.
It's on loan.
And Naomi, were you just blessed with a good walk, or did you take years of practice in high heels around
She
the
still
house
doesn't
to
have
perfect?
one. That's fine.
I had YouTube, unlike the rest of you guys, and
I'm sorry, we couldn't
Nice.
afford cable.
and I would legit just I would like search like 90s supermodel walk, and that's pretty much. I just like it's like hips out, back.
Shoulders back.
Yeah, there you go. Shoulders back. Just go and like look
Attached.
like attached
To the root.
And I mean, like my thing is just all about confidence. Like I've worn some ugly shit in my life, but I thought it was f***ing cute. Do you guys think this is cute?
So cute.
Wait, do you guys think this is cute? Is it high fashion?
Can you do a little walk down through the aisle to teach the
Meh.
kids? You're about to have a tutorial at no extra charge, ladies and gentlemen, here at DragCon.
Come on.
You don't get this at the fangirl panel.
Please.
Do it.
yes.
Gang. Word. Yes.
Small
I have a steamer.
Give them what they want.
Word.
Let them have it.
Oh my God, are you so embarrassed right now? That's crazy.
I'm
blushing.
Why
God
didn't
damn
you do that? I learned a lot from that. Okay,
teach me
now
class
a final
about this
question.
girl.
A final question. Why don't we start with you, Fame? But everyone, I want to comment. What do you think the future of drag is?
The future of drag.
And fashion, drag fashion, since Isaac gave us a serious moment.
I did.
You know,
In a good way. What
it's
do you think is
interesting
serious?
Because when we look back at the moments, these breakthroughs, the underground of New York, influencing pop artists, trickling into fashion, it always kind of crosses paths. So there is this pressure that I put in my own head is what am I going to do that's going to be either a reference to the old world, bringing it new, what can be done. And also, it's a lot of work to maintain image, to be that level and always be whatever, if you're avant-garde, creative, or dumpster pail child, whatever you want to be, always to come up with something fresh and forward-thinking that's on brand for you, or off, whatever. It's a lot of brain power and energy. But that's my interpretation.
Thank you, Miss Fame. And now what about you, Milk? What do you think the future is? For you personally and for drag/fashion in general. Hydrate before you answer.
Thank you. My pee was really yellow, so I knew I was dehydrated. It's called fashion. Look it up. No, I agree. And I think that sort of is like what I was saying earlier. Like it's so difficult to try to like come up with something to pay homage or just create this new thing. And I think when you think about it too much, it's always a failure. Like when you
How dare you? I'm sitting right next to you, bitch.
Like, I think you just have to really just, like, let your mind go. Maybe get a little stoned so, like, your inhibitions are lower. I don't know. The self-confidence after you get stoned a little bit is great. Yeah. That was not an answer to your question, but, you know, I spoke
You'll
for a
just
little
keep
bit,
doing
so
more
I'm
of the
good.
same. It's all good. It's all good. More of the same. Isaac, do you want to add an addendum to your earlier moment?
Pass. No. I don't really have an answer for it. I don't know. I don't know what the future of fashion or drag is. I think it's personality, like in the past.
Do you remember the first time you saw RuPaul?
I do. It's so long ago. I can't even tell you. I cannot tell you. I mean, RuPaul and I have known each other for like 30 years or something. And he had a talk show in like the 80s or something. And I was on it, and he swears that it was with Charo, but it wasn't. I was on with Cher.
Hello.
Cher and RuPaul. He's like, no, it was Charo. I'm like, no, darling, it was Cher. I would not forget something like that, okay?
I wouldn't forget Charo either.
How's
but no, I
that?
wouldn't
How's the
forget Cher
future
either.
of fashion and drag? One word, Cher. There you go. That's a crowd pleaser. Sorry.
Okay, Edward, how about you?
Future of fashion can't look half as fun as what it looks like in here and here today at DragCon. I mean, I think that fashion will follow the lead of what's happening here. I think the future of drag is acceptance. I mean, to see kids under the age of puberty knowing who they are and being accepted, I mean,
Here, that is beautiful.
who could have predicted? And that any, no matter the size of the wig, no matter how big the shoe, how small the waist, how big the hips, I think that everyone can comfortably, as everyone is up here or out and about, anyone now can walk around exactly as you all are, as I am, and not get stared at necessarily in the same way that we would have in the past. And it's no longer getting jeered at or looked at strange because you don't look like everybody else. So think what this is going to look like in 2 years and in 20 years. I think if fashion could have half as much fun as we're having here today, they will be A-okay. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
That was such a beautiful answer because that's exactly how I feel. Like the fact that drag changed my life, fashion changed my life, and the fact that I am part of something like RuPaul's Drag Race that has inspired people and changed other people's lives is such a ridiculous feeling. It's so, like, I'm so honored to be a part of that and to see kids, like you're saying, 7 years old running around here and their parents accepting them for wanting to dress up in drag, biological females wanting to dress up in drag, everybody who is supporting the art style that we have grown to love and cherish is such a beautiful thing. And I feel like the future of drag is going to be just ridiculous. I mean, look at the audience that's here. Yeah. Look at the kids that are here and the support that they have. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I never had that. Do you know what I mean? My whole life would have been changed if I had that support, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. So if there's parents in here tonight with their kids, I don't know if there's...
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much, because a lot of us never had that opportunity, and you're doing a beautiful job and raising a beautiful, beautiful spirit. So thank you very much, and I don't even know where to go for fashion. Fashion and drag doesn't matter when all that is in place, especially right now with this political climate that we're in. It's so rewarding to see it. So thank you guys so much. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you all for coming. Let's have one more round of applause for this panel of glamour pussies.